Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right, how are we?
Brilliant.
Very well.
Very well.
Yep.
What about
Excellent.
you?
I'm pretty good. Yep. What's news?
Yep.
Pussycats?
Bit light on news?
What's news?
Busy.
Gosh. It's Wednesday, fun day. We are madly at work trying to throw a factory together in record time and winning, albeit chaos every day.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Mm.
That's good. If it's fun, that's
Excellent.
good.
Yeah,
Is that because of the team you've pulled together?
It's a very good team of
Mm.
can-do people, so no one's kind of deliberately being annoying, which is great.
That's what you want. Cool.
How about you lot? What's news with you?
Oh, well, we opened Legally Blonde to critical acclaim.
Oh, it's open.
Yes.
Yes, it's open. It's 3 more weeks to go. Weekends to
Yeah.
go, that is. At last count, when I looked at it today, we've sold $38,000 of tickets already.
Well done.
Is that like
So
1,000 tickets, or is that 500? Do you sell them for
The
$150 each?
no, we don't. The capacity, the average ticket price is $33. So that's taking into account adults, carers, and concession.
Stuff.
Averages out.
Yep.
And that is 1,600 is the capacity. Anyway, that's my news. So I guess we should introduce ourselves because Swanee didn't have any news.
No.
No.
Zero. Dull.
I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky, and together we are
Trial by
Wine on a Wednesday.
On a Wednesday. And what are we drinking?
I'm
Soda
really
water?
disappointed.
Water,
Heavy
just
on
plain
today.
old water.
Plain
right.
water.
That looks like, is that a second-hand bottle you're drinking it out of too, or is it a...
It's from the airport, to be honest. So when I flew, I went to visit my family the other day, and we had a little contact on the plane. So I bought the bottle of water for travelling, and when we got there, they offered us free water and a couple of other nice little things. So I've travelled home with it, so I'm just drinking it now.
Okay.
I forgot I had it. I hadn't opened it. Yes.
Nice.
So that's why it looks like I'm travelling like sports Evian.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me.
The squirty
Yeah.
sipper thing.
Yeah, it's squirty. So yeah, I'm sure you guys are drinking something more interesting.
We are on a Feathertop Fiano.
Lovely.
Lovely little crisp white. It's very nice. And you, Schmitty?
I am on a Papa
Oh!
Salt Coastal Gin, which was bought for me and sent to me by Swanee. So I'm having,
Yes.
because the weather has finally turned, we've had a beautiful 18-degree day, and I am drinking a little gin and tonic. And now Swanee's got the right face. I expected to have this reaction. They are muckrat limes, which I freeze
Are they?
because there's not much else you can do with them. Although you
Yeah.
can take the skin off and put them in Thai food, like the lime leaves.
Yeah.
They have another name, but it's not appropriate
What did you say it
anymore.
was called, or what?
Muckrat lime.
Oh, you did say that. Okay.
Yeah. They used to be called something that's
What's-
synonymous with bad South African word.
Oh, I know. Right, got it. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, now I know what you're drinking.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
remember-
tonic. So, and it's delicious. So, yes, for our listeners, if you have a muckrat lime tree and you get all these lovely little fruits that you don't know what to do with, I just wash them, freeze them up, and use them as ice cubes. And they also impart their delicious lime.
Ooh.
There
Well,
you go.
I did try a new drink the other day. I went to my hometown and I caught up with an old girlfriend. And
The
we went
Gong?
to the Gong. We went to a tequila bar for dinner, and I was very excited. I checked out the menu beforehand, and I thought, I've never had a ranch water before. I'd heard about it, and I thought I want those. So I
It's not
confidently
like ranch
sat
sauce,
down.
is it? Oh.
No, it's not.
Oh.
I confidently sat down at the beginning and I said to the guy, I love margaritas, but I haven't had a ranch water. I think I'd really like one of those to start with.
And he said,
And
I don't think
and
you
my
would.
girlfriend went, yeah, I'll have one too. And they brought it over. It's tequila and soda.
Mm,
It's tequila and soda.
That's
And
all it is.
It came in like a ceramic kind of cup. And it might have had lime in it. I couldn't taste any lime in it. So it was just like rocket fuel. It was awful. I couldn't even drink it. My girlfriend got through it, but then we hit the margaritas afterwards, which was like, I just should have started there. But it was more my sort of like attitude. I was sort of thinking, look at me trying something new. I'm all that. And I'll have some ranch water. And then I couldn't even bloody drink it. Oh, so useless.
Do you
a bit
remember
embarrassing.
we were in a hotel, I think, in Stockholm,
Yes.
and they had, I think it was
How
an
do you remember this
Absolute.
stuff?
Oh, I just remember
Absolute
this. It
bar.
was funny.
Yeah.
It was the
The
Absolute
Ice
Bar.
Hotel.
And
Yeah.
No, it wasn't the Ice. It was before we went to the Ice Hotel. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
and we were in this bar and we walked up and they had all these different flavored vodkas. And of course, Swanee thought that if she asked for the raspberry vodka, it would be like nice raspberry. They gave her a shooter of raspberry vodka because she didn't ask with anything. And she goes, and she has a sip and she's like, it's just vodka with a hint of raspberry. I'm like, okay.
Oh, not
good to
even,
know.
I reckon. Yep.
It
Oh,
was
God.
very
Yeah.
funny. So I feel like your
Well,
ranch
the
water might have been a similar.
ranch water was like that. It could have just been like swamp water. It was.
But I love that
and-
you're so adventurous. I love that you give it a go.
As my girlfriend said to me as well, she said it might differ depending on what tequila they used as well. Because there's a tequila that I can eat. There's a tequila that I really like that we drink when we're sort of traveling and
Tito's?
stuff. And so no, Clase Azul, which is the one that comes in the big ceramic thing, and you can
Right.
just have it on its own.
Yep.
But it's probably really top end and really, I don't know. It's probably designed to drink without other things mixed in with it. I don't think what we had was. It was like, oh Jesus, I can still taste it.
Fire water.
Yeah.
Tequila can be one or the other. Yeah.
Yeah, because I like tequila as a general. I certainly like tequila. Cocktails are sort of my sort of wheelhouse.
I went off tequila when it killed me.
When you
nearly
ate the
once.
worm?
I never ate the worm, but I
Oh.
certainly drove the porcelain bus a few times after
Yeah, I
having too
think-
many tequilas. Yeah.
It's quite common.
All right. Well,
All
who's got a story for us?
I do. I do.
Oh, good.
I think you
Go,
might
go.
like this one.
I feel like the longer we do this, the more likelihood that we're going to double up.
I can't believe it still hasn't
Becomes-
happened. Yeah. It's
I
got to
know.
happen.
Nah,
Yeah.
not today.
Anyway,
Not today.
okay,
Today is
all
not
right.
that day.
Okay, go for it then.
So I'm going to tell you a little story, but I'll start with my sources because I often don't.
Often forget.
Uh, So my sources are LA Times, Toronto Sun,
yeah, not the same one.
Oxygen.com,
Yeah.
and Murderpedia.
Mm,
Yep, Murderpedia. You
so
know what
it's
that
just
means?
a robbery then, yeah?
Yeah.
This is the story of Robert Bob Samuels. Now, Bob was born on the 20th of September 1948 in North Carolina. He was a camera assistant who worked on many hit movies, including Lethal Weapon,
Oh, wow.
Colours.
This isn't
Heaven
the guy
Can
that
Wait,
you all sent
Beverly
a
Hills
thing about
Cop
the other day,
2.
is it? It is.
Correct.
Oh, okay, right.
It isn't.
Maybe you said something about some
What?
film
What?
man who was disgusting, and I didn't really look at it. Some disgusting child
Oh.
trafficking abuser. Yeah,
Was
what
that
have you-
me? Oh, I said that. Oh,
Channel
that was
9
a
or something.
local,
Yeah,
cameraman.
and I had to look it up
in-
because
in Perth.
I used to work
he
with
was
this cameraman who I
disgusting.
called the accidental sexist, and I wondered if it was the same man, but it wasn't. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, Clarky.
And ironically, Tequila Sunrise. I feel like that's a good
Oh, good omen.
lead in from the earlier
Yes.
chat. Anyway, Bob grew up a block away from Mary Ellen Gurnick Jamison, and he'd always
Oh.
been a bit of a hornbag for her.
A fan? Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Ellen had married, but after that marriage failed, Bob and Mary Ellen met again, and I want you to picture something a little bit, what's that movie called? Muriel's Wedding?
I was going with
Yeah.
something
Where
about
they're
Mary, but yeah.
sitting
Okay.
probably in a school hall and, little tables. And
Oh, the wedding, right.
I'm imagining glitter and stuff. No, because they met again in late 1979 at a high school reunion.
Oh, right.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm the beautiful one.
Oh, yeah,
Like
you
her.
can't tell.
They're American, so more like homecoming feel, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I imagine there would
Robbie
have been
Michelle's
a class
high
of
school reunion.
whatever year.
Yeah, class of 1960 or wherever they would have
Yeah,
been. Probably
that's
a bit,
the shit.
probably a
Exactly
bit
that.
older. Probably
Yes.
65 or something. Yeah.
Were they homecoming
Yes.
queen and king and queen?
No,
I
I was
bet
just
they
saying
weren't.
it was just a reference.
I mean, they would have been, wouldn't they?
Maybe.
Otherwise,
Depends
what's
on
the
how the
point of this
story goes.
story if it's not the homecoming king and queen? They wed in 1980. Mary Ellen had a daughter from her first marriage, Nicole, who was born in 1970. Now, Bob adopted Nicole, and they both moved in with him. However, Mary Ellen left him 6 years later, leaving a Dear John note on the kitchen table
I thought you were going to
complaining
say
that the
leaving a
marriage had
Deirdre
gone
Chambers note.
stale. Well, that'll come later.
Mm.
Yeah, so she complained that the marriage had gone stale.
Oh,
like
for God's
bread.
sake, lady. Marriages get stale. It's your job to make them liven up a
Whack
bit.
it in the toaster.
That's right. Put it in the
Slap it
microwave.
with butter and it's great.
Put it in the microwave. That'll soften it right up.
In her letter, she said, no matter what happens or what you think of me now or later, I will still always care for you. We just can't live together, she wrote. Mary and Nicole moved out of the family home in 1986.
Yeah.
Later.
I'm out, dude.
Yep.
Ciao. Yeah.
I don't want to see your ugly mug every morning.
But I'll always
Bob-
think you're okay. Not really.
Yeah, I'll always care for you. Bob always hoped that they would reconcile. And almost 2 years later, he was reading the self-help book, How to Save Your Marriage.
Oh, it's a bit late by then. Sorry, Bob. Got to tell you. You should have been reading that about 4.5 years in.
I'll tell you when it's a bit late. However, he never got the chance to reconcile a marriage because on the 8th of December 1988,
Oh, no.
Robert was ambushed in his Northridge home by an intruder who hit him over the head, then shot him with a 16-gauge shotgun firing through a pillow.
Oh, my God. I did not see that coming. I thought he was going to be the killer. Oh, my God. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bub. That's terrible.
There's no reconciling that marriage now.
No. Oh, my God.
Gosh.
Okay.
Jeepers, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming,
What's
did
the
ya?
backstory you're
No.
about to tell us? Right.
It's predominantly front story.
Okay. All right.
He was found by Mary and Nicole, then 18.
What a coinky-dink.
Who told police they discovered the body when they dropped off their pet schnauzer for the weekend.
The schnauzer.
Because they were going away and they needed Bob to look after the schnauzer. But when they went over to drop the schnauzer off, poor Bob.
Was
Oh,
no
that would be a
longer.
mess to find.
Is that awful?
Alongside Bob's body were his ID and wallet, and nothing had been stolen from the home.
Okay, was it a burglary?
So guess what police did? They
closed
dismissed
the
the
case.
possibility of a burglary gone wrong, just
closed
like
the
you
case.
did, Schmitty. Yeah, I think so far they meet the trial by wide standards of policing.
Oh, I think it's fine.
Naturally, the first suspect they considered was Mary Ellen.
Mm.
After all, she was the estranged wife and had filed for divorce.
What a bitch.
When police questioned both Mary Ellen and Nicole, they were both very cooperative and investigators had no reason to suspect either of them.
Seriously, like it was amicable. I said, I don't want you anymore. Fuck off from my life, but
I
so
left.
I'll always
Yeah.
care for you.
The
But
note
it was
said, I'll
2
always
years
care
later.
for you.
And it was 2 years later. Like, why would I kill him now? I would have killed him then, wouldn't I?
I used a pillow. I do care for him. Both Mary Ellen and Nicole were very cooperative and investigators had no reason to suspect either of them. But then they discovered Mary Ellen stood to collect almost $500,000 upon Bob's debt.
And what was the year?
And of course, this raised a red flag. 86.
88. 88,
So that's
wasn't
quite
it?
a lot. She's taking notes. That's
Isn't it
quite a
88?
lot of money.
Let's go with you. It was 88. You're absolutely
Yes,
right.
88.
Yes.
$500,000 is a
Thanks
lot
for
in 88,
listening.
yeah?
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, she's good like
Yeah,
that.
a lot. So that raised a red flag, and they asked Mary Ellen to take a lie detector test, which she agreed to, and subsequently passed.
Yeah,
So
because
she was
didn't do the
again
killing.
off the hook.
No, it was Nicole. Was it?
Or Nicole's boyfriend. Anyway, we'll find out.
Investigators found their next suspect when they discovered that whilst Bob was estranged from Mary Ellen, he'd been dating another woman.
Oh, scandals. Shock, horror, and scandal.
This woman was also married and separated from her husband at the time they were dating. Nothing wrong with that. They're all separated.
Free agents.
Her husband, however, was a former cop working as a security guard. And
Uh-oh.
he had a history of domestic violence and owned his own gun.
Oh, he wouldn't be a
So does
suspect.
everyone in America at that point. But anyway.
To be fair.
Oh, right. Can you narrow it down a bit? They thought the killer could be the jealous husband. Sounds good so far. However, further investigation revealed that he had a watertight alibi.
Turns
And
out
he
it was
too
just
was
a
cleared of
burglar gone
suspicion.
wrong. Yep.
Cross him off. So they moved on to interviewing workers at Bob and Mary Ellen's Subway shop. And by Subway shop, I don't mean a shop that goes
Not the
under the
sandwich
ground.
shop?
It's the sandwich shop.
It is a
Yep.
sandwich
Oh.
shop. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mary Ellen managed the sandwich shop, and they thought that maybe interviewing all of the workers there would generate some leads. However, it didn't. So they moved on to Bob's filmmaking community.
Oh.
Oh, here we
Witnesses
go.
here describe Bob as a hardworking guy who was not a player. However, they found that he'd been caught up in a contentious tax issue that had pitted him against some of his peers. They followed this lead to its end, again turning up nothing.
God.
So the police were out of options and the case
Yeah.
went cold for nearly
Oh.
5 months. Then, out of the
What,
blue,
you
an
say
anonymous
25 years.
No. Then out of the blue, an anonymous caller phoned the police claiming to know who had killed Bob.
Oh.
I
That's
know
handy.
who killed Bob.
I was going to message you earlier and say, can you, when on cue, can you say these words?
I know who killed Bob.
Okay, let's go with that. And then the caller identified the killer.
The killer is James Jim Bernstein.
That's it. So the cold case quickly went hot, and investigators busied themselves looking into Jim Bernstein.
Buried themselves, yeah.
Buried themselves, yeah. They discovered he had a criminal record for drug-related offences. This is going well, they thought. They also learned that Jim had been in a relationship with none other than, and Schmitty, this
Nicole.
is a Deirdre Chambers moment, Mary Ellen's daughter, Nicole.
Oh, Deirdre Chambers, what a coincidence. What do I
Yes.
say? It's the boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, and Nicole confirmed the relationship, but said that it was very casual. And
Root
just like instant gravy, the plot was definitely thickening.
Chuck a ruin. Away we go.
Get that whisk out. Stuart makes instant gravy with boiling water and whisks the bejesus out of it to get all the lumps out.
Do you mean grey box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's how you make it.
There's no put a bit of cold water in and make a little paste and, blah, blah, blah.
No. Whisk
No
the
time for
shit
that.
out of it.
Hot water. Right, exactly that.
That's what a whisk does.
Detectives decided it was time to talk to Jim, and so they went to his workplace to talk to him. However,
Hi,
when they
Jim
did so,
Bernstein.
they discovered that he had been a no-show for work.
Oh, tipped off.
Jim's boss, however, shared some very interesting information.
Mm.
Apparently, Jim had been talking about Bob at work, saying that he had molested Nicole and he wanted something done about it.
yuck.
He was talking of Bob as a man that needed to die for his sins.
Oh.
Oh, was he religious?
Or was he just
Maybe.
setting a scene?
Or, yeah.
Aha,
Or
well,
was it
stay
just
tuned.
providing
Yes.
himself a little alibi? Yeah.
Right, yeah, just, yeah.
Yeah, we are so cynical.
Well, maybe not. Investigators took this seriously and looked into the divorce filings and criminal reports to see if any allegations of abuse had ever been made about Bob. But they came up
hadn't.
empty-handed.
They
I have a
weren't.
feeling you
Because
say that.
Yeah.
Because I love you and I'll always care for you, but the marriage has gone stale. Not, you've been molesting my daughter and I'm out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I feel like that's exactly the words. They tried to talk to Nicole to find out if there were any, about the legitimacy of the allegations, and found that she and Mary Ellen were holidaying in Cancun.
What? You know,
Yep.
my ex-husband's been murdered, but I'm off to Cancun now.
Off to Cancun we go.
Well,
Yep.
it was several months later, wasn't it?
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I
mean, God,
all
they're
of that was
entitled to a
very
holiday.
stressful. We have to have a holiday now in Cancun.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so they're in Cancun, and so the police couldn't talk to them. So they focused on finding Jim, believing him to be the key to the investigation.
James Jim.
Police believed
James
Jim Bernstein.
James Jim.
Bernstein.
Yeah.
Police believed that he was on the run.
But he was actually just round the corner.
Something similar to that.
Cancun.
However, in July 1989, his body was found along a trail in Ventura County, California.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh my giddy aunt. There's a trail. These ladies are leaving a trail.
I told you you'd like this one.
God.
He had been strangled to death.
Oh my
Oh.
God, that's really
Yeah,
hard
so
to do too. Like this is like
Yeah.
twists and turns. Oh my God.
And different MO also.
Doesn't often happen to a male, does it, as often? As
I don't think so because it's harder to strangle a man because they can fight back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to get the right position. And
So you'd have to assume it was a very strong person who was able to do that, or a strong person.
We haven't talked about the physicality of our heroines of the story.
Mary Ellen and Nicole.
yeah.
Police
Nicole
searched
was
Jim's
about
home.
6'4" and built like a brick shithouse, but she's fine.
Her old name was Bob. Police searched Jim's home and found a phone card that they sent off for analysis. That old chestnut.
Cracker. That's how you find
this-
someone who's been ringing up at the odd KFC or Hungry Jack's. What was it? Where they had the strip?
Oh, yeah, the
Swanee.
McDonald's.
Oh,
that
McDonald's.
was Macca's. Yeah.
It's funny because I can't remember. I think it was when I first started doing the show. One of the band members is a regular listener. Hi, Andrew. And he was like, "Oh, I've just listened to the one about the McDonald's." I'm like, "Oh, you're a bit
McStrip.
behind." I think you're a bit behind. But also, I mean, I know, right? Fuck me.
You've got a long listening future ahead of you if you're up to that episode.
He may have caught up.
Or
I don't
not.
know.
Whilst the phone card was being analysed, they tracked down Jim's brother, who told them that Jim had been involved in dealing drugs and that his partner was David Navarro. So,
David Navarro, isn't he like from Jane's Addiction? Seriously.
is he the lead singer or something?
No, but he used to go out with Carmen Electra. Do you say Dave Navarro? Honestly,
Yeah,
there we go, Dave
I did.
Navarro.
It may not
Yeah, there you
be
go.
the
I'm
Dave Navarro.
I'm guessing that's not him. No.
I'm assuming it's a different one. So, David Navarro became their next high priority person of interest. And when they tracked him down, they learned that he was the anonymous caller who had phoned police advising them that, Schmitty, this is over to you.
James Jim Bernstein was a killer.
Was the killer. Yeah, there you go.
What did he say? Yeah. Sure, I'm a drug dealer, whatever else. But, I was the person who called you. It's me.
Yes.
I think you should be thanking me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
but
I tipped
also
you off.
that's not the big news.
Oh,
David
God.
also told them that Mary Ellen Samuels had masterminded the killing of her husband, Bob.
Oh, shock me.
Mary Ellen.
He said that she had tried to recruit him to do the killing so that she could get the insurance money
It's all
as well
about
as
the
the
money,
money for the
yeah.
Subway shop.
Oh.
The Subway.
We don't need your money. Coconut Man, Moonhead, and P.
P.
What is that?
It's
That's
a
the
song
start of
by
her song.
Jesse, what's it?
Jessie
Yes.
J.
Yeah. Is that what she said at the beginning?
Yeah,
of it? Yes,
at the start she goes, Coconut Man, Moonhead, and P.
For no apparent reason.
Always
I
make,
do know
I
that,
don't
yeah.
see the relevance of it, but that's what she says at the start. Anyway. So she wanted the money. Mary Ellen rocketed back to suspect number 1. Police discovered that Mary Ellen stood to receive almost $500,000 from her husband's death, $240,000 from his life insurance policy, $70,000 from the jointly owned Subway shop, and $160,000 for his share of the family home. That's not on top of the $500,000. That is the $500,000. Police needed to talk to Mary Ellen, and they got in touch with her as soon as she returned from Cancun. However,
We just did have a chat.
this time she refused to cooperate with them. When they questioned Nicole, she wouldn't talk about either the murder or the abuse allegations. So detectives were again stuck, knowing who they wanted but couldn't find any evidence. And then the phone card results came back, revealing that Jim...
It's 1.269 million now. It was a lot of money. Yeah.
Handy sum.
Yeah.
So the phone card results revealed that Jim had called both Mary Ellen and Nicole on the night of Bob's murder. They also found payments from the Subway shop to Jim, and they felt that this could be how Jim was paid for the murder. They found another
I'm just going
payment.
to put it through the business.
Yeah, put it through the Subway
It's
shop.
great
No one
for
will
tax.
mind.
tax deductible.
Yeah.
Tax deductible.
They found another payment of $6,000 to a woman named Anne Hambley, who was a friend of Mary Ellen's, but not an employee. So they went to talk to Anne. She was evasive and didn't want to talk at all. That is, until she cut a deal of immunity. Then she sung like a canary. She said that she knew who killed Bob and how, and also that she knew how Jim was killed and who killed him. Yep, Anne knew it all. According to Anne, after Mary Ellen had hired Jim to kill Bob, she became paranoid that he couldn't keep his mouth shut, and she voiced her concerns to Anne. Now, Anne was an ideas woman and suggested that her boyfriend Paul Gall, seriously, reminds me of Tim Sims, but it's Paul Gall, and his friend Daryl Edwards could kill Jim.
Jesus, imagine just putting your boyfriend up for... I'll tell you what.
These people...
Paul can do it. Paul could do it.
These people who talk openly about murdering people and then, I've had a lot of wine with a lot of friends over my time and never have we discussed murdering someone, let alone gone, that's ridiculous, we're not going to do that. Or
you don't put woo in for it and go, you got a problem there.
Stu
but
could
I
do
know
that.
to do it. Yeah.
He's strong. He could probably take Jim in a strangling incident.
Oh, God, these people.
I feel like after nearly 3 years of doing this, someone might have come to us to say, how do I kill someone?
Yeah, if I was going to do it.
But they haven't.
Zip.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
because
not even an email asking for advice.
Never an email. I'd like to thank the 30-odd people who listen regularly.
Why don't you call them directly?
Well, I know at least 4 of them personally.
Exactly.
Anyway.
I'm sure you probably know more.
But not always in China, as Clarky put it the other day.
The China virus. So Mary Ellen paid Anne $6,000 for the solution. And with that...
Doesn't seem like much. Anyway.
Well, it's only an idea, you know.
Well,
it's not copyrighted or anything, so...
So 500 grand was worth 1.2.
Is she a consultant or something?
All
right. It's my murder consultant.
What does she get for that? Like a concept? I'm not saying... She just gets a concept.
And I'm not saying it's foolproof. I'm just giving you the concept.
An idea, exactly. It's $6,000 for a concept.
It's 100 grand if you want a foolproof solution, but I'm only giving you the
money is like 12,000. It's not worth it, right? It's not okay.
No.
She's going to tender for it, but she's like,
I reckon for the idea, it's like a spotter's fee. I can find someone who'll do it for you. It's no
one
problem.
tenders for less than.
I have to say that she undermines her own professionalism when she says, I'm sure my boyfriend Paul could do it. That's what lets her down. I think, I'm sure she's a fabulous consultant.
I've got someone on staff. Yeah,
I know. It sounds a little bit weak.
She should get a fee of his fee for killing too, not just there's the introductory fee plus. I want 5% of all future killings.
Yeah.
So with that, police had all they needed. Mary Ellen Saunders was arrested on the 26th of January 1990, 13 months after the death of her husband, Bob. When they searched her home, they found a Polaroid photo of its time of Mary Ellen lying naked on a bed, covered only with the blood money from her husband. Thought to be $20,000 in $100 bills.
Oh, you dirty, dirty bitch.
What a hornbag.
Dirty bitch.
No, that's not right. There's no respect
now.
there.
I had Mary Ellen all wrong. I just had her pegged as, I don't know.
I know, I must admit, I thought Nicole was the main issue.
Yeah, and they were just, they'd got together... they'd been young sweethearts, and then, second marriage, it was all nice, tickety-boo. She had a bit of a mean bean. Oh.
So since his death, and whilst she's been investigated, let's have a little chat about what you think she might have done. Because I feel like there's a real theme that we get every time we discuss someone murdering and the post-murder behaviour.
She had dinner. It was KFC.
No, that's on death row. You have KFC. She blew all the money she received from his death on a lavish and sometimes trashy lifestyle that included
Shock me.
A Porsche, a condo in Cancun, renting limos, the lavish bit, and fake furs and custom-made outfits from a store called Trashy Lingerie.
I mean, I have real furs. I have real furs. They cost £35 on eBay. Like, you don't have to have $25,000 furs.
That was in the 80s. You probably did.
Maybe she's an animal
No,
rights
you don't.
activist as well.
Faux fur bullshit.
Anyway, trashy lingerie. It's not lavish. It's trashy.
Trashy Lingerie is a famous store, I think, in Hollywood maybe. I feel like I've heard of it before.
Also, during this time, she had neglected to organise a headstone for her late husband, defaulted on her mortgage, and failed to pay debts rung up by the Subway store. Yep, she was on the fast road to bankruptcy.
She's on the road to nowhere.
I'm right. Trashy Lingerie is a custom-made lingerie apparel store based in Los Angeles, known for its unique designs and its association with Hollywood celebrities. It is well known for acquiring, but I think that they would have done maybe lots of Halloween costumes. So I think I've seen it in like episodes of TV programs like in the past. I don't know.
90 Day Fiancé.
Because it's got that hideous name, right?
Yeah, trashy lingerie.
That's
Like,
why
I wouldn't shop there.
There you go, found in 1973.
I would totally shop there.
I feel like it's got stains in it or something.
No,
Anyway,
I'd totally shop
that's
there.
another
Sounds
story.
great. You mean they don't have liners in their panties? You know when you put
Only
on new
used
bathers
ones.
to try them on and they're...
The plastic seal.
Oh, yeah, there's none of that. Yeah. One before. Pre-loved. Anyway, Paul Gall and Darrell Edwards were arrested for Bob's murder, and they both pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for their testimony against Mary Ellen. They confirmed that Mary Ellen had hired them and that they had strangled Jim Bernstein.
Was it two of them doing it? Is that why they were...
That explains
Yeah,
what was
correct.
Okay.
so much force, yeah.
Both Gall and Edwards were sentenced to 15 years to life
Not enough.
and were released
yeah.
in 2009. Well, because they testified against Mary Ellen, they got lesser sentences.
It's not enough. They killed someone. Yeah, Mary Ellen was the mastermind. They murdered someone. Plea deals
Accurate.
suck.
Yeah, I do have a thing, though, and we've discussed this a lot before, where the person who is paying someone to do their dirty work needs to get more punishment than the poor, helpless person who
But
does
that might be up to us.
something for not much cash. Anyway, so in May 1994, Mary Ellen was tried for the murder of her husband Bob and of Jim Bernstein. The prosecution argued that Mary Ellen had first hired a reputed drug dealer to murder her 40-year-old husband Bob after he'd filed for divorce after their separation and several failed reconciliation attempts.
After he'd?
There's a lot of afters. Yeah, so he filed for divorce after they separated and had several reconciliation attempts. They said that Mary Ellen had plotted to kill him for 2 years after she realised that he was worth more to her dead than alive. They showed that she would receive a $30,000 settlement as the result of a divorce, but as a widow she would inherit more than $500,000 in real estate, business and insurance proceeds.
What a bitch.
They also alleged that Mary Ellen paid $5,000 to two other men to kill the original contract killer Jim Bernstein to prevent him from ever testifying against her.
Poor Jim.
They also said that Jim was likely not the killer of Bob, but just arranged the killing, and the actual gunman was believed to be dead.
Oh, Jesus. Right.
The prosecution... So Mary Ellen has woven a web of contract killer negotiations that haven't always gone to her favour, but there's a lot of people doing her dirty work.
Right.
The prosecution stated that Jim was strangled in June 1989 and that at the time of his death he was engaged to marry Nicole. Yep, Mary Ellen had paid to have her daughter's fiancé killed.
Was Nicole aware of this?
We might get to that.
Oh.
There's a little bit more explanation to come.
Okay.
The reason I say might is I'm not 100% sure on the detail. I think we do, but bear with me. At the trial, Anne Hambley, the ideas woman, testified that after several attempts to find someone to kill her husband had failed, Mary Ellen was able to get Jim to agree to commit the murder. So she's tried to get people on several occasions to kill her husband.
It's not easy, this kind of work. You know, I do feel for her a bit. It's not easy. Another dead end. Oh, God.
Who are these people who go around saying, would you kill my husband? Anyone want to kill my husband?
I understand why she needed a concept from Anne.
Ex-husband.
Yeah. Well, no, they never divorced. They just separated and were going through that
She wouldn't
process.
have wanted them to be divorced because then
Because she would have got the money, yeah.
$30,000, yep.
Yeah.
Jim was apparently angered that Bob had abused Nicole and asked his employer, Charles Mandel, if he knew anyone who would take care of it.
Oh.
Mandel provided him with the number of Mike Silver.
Everybody knows somebody, I tell you.
I don't think he got $6,000 for providing the number of Mike Silver, so he's no Anne Hambley.
No, he's not business savvy enough. He's just gone, here's a number. Anne's like, well, let me put a quote together and see if, it's something, we can agree on. And this is just, again, it's just the concept. It's not the actual work. So you have to agree to
it's
the
not
price. If you want to
foolproof.
take it further, then there'll be additional costs associated with that.
So Anne also said that on the 7th of December, she'd received a call from Mary Ellen saying that it was done and that she planned to discover the body in 2 days. In relation to Jim's murder, his friend Rennie Goldberg stated that Jim had said he was feeling remorseful for his role in Bob's death in roughly May or early June 1989. He was frightened of being caught and wanted to confess his involvement to police. By June, he wanted to move out of the area as he was afraid he'd be caught. By the end of June, he was ready to go to police and confess what he knew. He told David Navarro that he and Mike Silver had killed Bob and that Mary Ellen had paid him for it. He revealed that Mary Ellen had previously paid another person to kill Bob, but that person didn't do it, and that's why Mary Ellen approached him. That's a lot.
It is a lot to understand. There's too many. She's asked so many people. There's so many people involved. Oh, dear God, we've got 2 people dead and it feels like we've got a cast of thousands.
Remember old mate who got the people to put the bloke in the wood chipper?
Yeah.
And she said, just get it done or something because she's frustrated that all these people...
That's the name of our episode, just get it done.
Get it done.
Something like that, yeah. So this is more like, oh, God, well, if you won't do it, I'll find someone else.
Yeah.
I'm on a time frame here.
If you don't ask, you'll never know. Just ask everybody.
But when you try to get a tradesperson, I'll be there next week. If you don't do it next week, I'm going to get someone else. I feel like it's that kind of thing.
I'm going to have to cross-quote on this.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going out for 3 straight up next time because this is taking too long.
What I've decided, I'm going to tender next time because people let me down.
What's that website where you can put in what you want and it goes out and gets you 3 quotes from tradespeople? Yeah, can you have that for killings?
I'm sure.
On June 26, 1989, Jim told his older brother that he was frightened the police were catching up with him and that he was the only person that could burn Mary Ellen. Paul Gall testified to several conversations that he had had with Mary Ellen. In the first conversation, she stated that she had received insurance money after Bob's death and that Jim was blackmailing her. In the second conversation, she said that she wanted Bob dead for abusing Nicole and that she wanted the insurance money. In a third conversation, she mentioned a failed attempt to kill Bob. She also admitted that she had paid for Bob's murder, but said that it had been done sloppily and that she did not expect it to be done in the home with blood everywhere. Mary Ellen supposedly spoke to Gall 5 to 10 times about killing Jim and mentioned payment 2 to 4 times. Paul Gall, because I can't stop saying it, it's such a ridiculous name, also testified that prior to Jim's murder, Mary Ellen called him and said that she was taking a trip to Cancun and wanted him dead before she returned. Paul Gall and Darryl Edwards doesn't have the same ring as Paul Gall, testified about the killing of Jim on the 27th of June 1989. On that morning, Paul Gall met Edwards at a bar and they started drinking. They came up with a plan to get Jim to an area called Frazier Park by telling him they knew some drug dealers there that they could all go and rob. The 2 men arranged to meet Jim at Anne Hambley's home later that night where Gall was living. Gall arrived around 5 or 6 p.m. and Edwards approximately 2 hours later. Jim was already there. He was keen. They discussed going to rip off drug dealers, and although Jim initially didn't want to go, curiosity got the better of him and he agreed. So the 3 jumped in a car and took off with Gall driving. After about 40 minutes, they ended up on an isolated dirt road that looked like a good spot. However, it turned out to be a private driveway and several dogs came running at the car, so they hot-tailed it out of there.
What?
So they pulled up in a dirt road where they're going to get Jim.
Yeah.
Thinking it's a good spot because it's an isolated dirt road.
Yeah.
But it turns out to be someone's driveway. And so when they get out to do it, several dogs come running at the car. So they had to jump back in and hottail it out of there.
Oh, God. You wouldn't want that on your front lawn.
It's just amateur hour. Can I get a good tradesperson to do this? They continued driving for another 5 or 10 minutes when Edwards yelled, "Now!" Gall slammed on the brakes, put the car in park and turned off the lights. whilst Edwards put his hand around Jim's neck and started to strangle him. Jim began screaming, so Gall hit him in the head. Sorry, I should say it properly. Jim began screaming, so Paul Gall hit him in the side of the head to keep him quiet. However, Paul Gall accidentally hit Edwards, which loosened his grip on Jim's neck. Jim got loose and jumped out of the car. Edwards and Paul Gall chased him, and Edwards caught him and wrestled him to the ground. Paul Gall held his legs while Edwards strangled him. Jim asked why, and Gall said because he talked too much.
Oh.
Gall stopped holding Jim's legs and helped Edwards. Jim struggled for 3 to 5 minutes before they stopped. Gall put his ear on Jim's chest and listened for a heartbeat and did not hear one. The two men placed Jim's body in the back seat of the car and Edwards drove to an isolated area. During the drive,
I
Gall
know
took
you're
off-
laughing about how that all turned out, but because it was amateur hour, but that poor bugger died.
I am
and
100% joking about something that is not funny.
It's
but
not fun.
if
It's
it
not
wasn't a murder, it would just be ridiculous. It's these.
There was a ridiculous nature to it. Like, they were fucking amateur hour. I get where you're coming from. But that poor fucker, like that
That poor
that
fucker.
that is really an awful way to die. To know that people are trying to kill you and trying to kill you and trying to kill you and trying to kill you.
Yeah. It's
It's horrific. Yeah.
you're spot on. Yes.
Mm.
Also, he tried to hit him in the head, and he hit the bloke who was doing the strangling in the head. I mean,
I get that there was stupidity in it. I'm not denying it, but oh god.
during the drive, Paul Gall took off Jim's belt as it had the name James on it, and he threw it over a cliff. He also disposed of Jim's pager. Then they dumped the body and drove back to Anne Hambley's house, where they told her of the murder. Anne then let Mary Ellen know the job was done and that it was safe for her to return from Cancun. The defence's case centred on the stormy nature of Mary Ellen's relationship with Bob, and she claimed that he was abusive when he drank. She testified this was the reason she had left him in 1986. Mary Ellen also said she had considered reconciling, but this all changed when she learned that Bob had been physically and sexually abusing Nicole. Despite all of this, she claimed that she never wanted to kill Bob and never asked anyone to do so. Mary Ellen also testified that her financial position was fine in 1987, even after the separation. With regard to Jim's death, Mary Ellen said that Jim never threatened or blackmailed her, and that she did not want him dead, let alone conspire to kill him. The judge found that Mary Ellen had clearly planned the murders for a long time, and that she had the ability to convince others to do her dirty work, involving many people, including her teenage daughter and her friends. It was also found that Mary Ellen had a normal childhood, made many trips to Disneyland, dearly loved a pet dog named Patches, and taught a stepdaughter to bake cookies. Relevance, Your Honour. On July 1, she was convicted of multiple counts of murder with the special circumstances of soliciting murder and conspiracy to murder. The special circumstances are the bit that enables her to be sentenced to death, and she was.
Shit.
Oh.
Her sentence was subsequently commuted to life in prison without the chance of parole. Nicole Samuels is considered by prosecutors to be an unindicted co-conspirator in the murders of her stepfather and fiancé. She claimed on the witness stand that she and her mother were innocent and both the victims of abuse from Bob. However, several of Nicole's school friends had testified that she had asked them at school where she could get a gun to kill her stepfather. And that, my friends, is the story of the murder of poor Robert Bob Samuels and the woman who became known as the Green Widow, Mary Ellen Samuels. And
Oh,
the
she
Green
knows
Widow
the Green
because
Widow.
of the photo of her naked on the bed surrounded by
Oh,
$100
gross.
bills.
Ew.
Yeah, tacky.
She was lucky they called her the Green Widow. I could think of worse names than that.
Yeah.
Right.
What would you say?
Money hungry whore. Widow. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? The Green
Yeah.
Widow seems a little bit
Yeah.
polite given what
It
she
does,
did.
doesn't
It's
it?
like
And
the Green
actually, doesn't,
Lantern.
I know, it doesn't really.
Oh, it's not
The
right.
Green Widow. What even they called her, like the cash widow? I don't know, the dollar widow. Or, I don't know. Okay, can we look at some pictures of her?
Yeah, go on.
If I'm looking at, there's someone I found with a really great haircut, Green Widow, Mary Ellen Samuels. Like it's sort of like this feathered, Rizzo
Well,
kind
it's
of
of
thing.
its time, but
It is of its time. Oh God, look at it now.
a picture
Can you
of
see
her
it
on
now?
the
Like she's
bed
an
is
old version of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen the picture of the bed. Where's that?
Yeah, you got to have a look. Look.
She's a bit rough.
She's more than a bit rough.
She's a
She's
mole.
feral.
No, I said that she's a real mole. She
She's
looks
a
like one. She's a
Moel.
mole.
Moel.
The slap mole.
Pictures of her in the bed with the money all over her is so
Oh,
disgusting.
so cheap and ugh.
It's so disgusting. Someone died
Yeah.
for that. Like, and you organised that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder when she changed, or if she was always a bit like that. You know, I mean, it'd be interesting to know what.
Her background was.
Yeah, well, what did she do? We know what she did for work, or did she work, or we don't know much about. Not that it's going to justify what she did, but I wonder where, if she had been someone and then she sort of thought she wanted more, or you know what I mean. She was quite. I mean, she really was going to benefit, right? It was a big reward.
Yeah.
It was a big reward. It wasn't just some pilly amount. It was going to. It doesn't sound like she could handle it. It sounds like she was spending frivolously, that she couldn't handle it. So it wouldn't have lasted long, I don't think. So I dare say she would have had to murder somebody else or commit some other crime to continue with that kind of lifestyle. But a silly old bent.
Oh, and there's people who just are so comfortable talking openly about
I
their
know,
desire to have
right?
someone knocked off. Like, come on.
Cal and Nicole, we've got to go over now to Bob's house and, you know, pretend we're taking the dog out of his body. But you know what? As they said, I think she was about to turn 18 by then. So, you know, she can handle it. You'd do that with your kid, wouldn't you? So, you know, come on.
I had a little sentence that came up earlier today while
Yeah.
you were talking.
Yes.
And it was about the faux fur. Sorry. I've had the
Yes.
hiccups for, I think now,
A
an
long
hour.
time. Yeah.
And I've been trying to get rid of them the whole time. I've been holding my breath constantly, but I can't get rid of them. Anyway, so I was going to sentence everyone involved in the murder of Bob and Jim to being mauled by minks. Because at least they're
Mauled
real
by
fur.
minks.
Yeah, because it's like you wear a fucking faux fur. I mean, I'm offended by it.
Yeah.
I must admit, I was offended by that. To your
That's
point,
fair.
Swanee, I have
I'm
been
better
able to
than this.
procure. I have 3 real furs, and I know it wasn't 1980 blah blah, but she took in today's money, $1.2 million.
You're really disappointed
right?
in her, aren't you, for going faux? I can tell.
I'm disgusted. I'm not even disappointed. I'm disgusted.
Because faux fur was not really a thing then.
Oh my god!
Try
Could you
hard.
imagine the quality of it?
Commit, right? You want to be a posh
Yeah.
bitch. You want to look flash. Don't worry about the people who throw red paint on you because as long as you don't show up to the same thing all the time, they don't know your routine.
Also, you're in or you're out, mate.
That's right. So minks, a consistent chewing by minks is my sentence for them.
A consistent chewing by minks.
It's not even death. It's just really
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Strapped down and
I think being
minced.
chewed by any animal is not good.
It's not ideal, is it?
It's not something I'd sign up to. So that's my sentence.
Yeah, goodness, nice.
I wanted to sort of lean into the frustrations that Mary Ellen frustrated, and I want her to be locked in a web of bureaucracy where she's trying to get a job done, and every turn it's like a job at work. You know, it's like I've put
The government has said that your budget's cut.
correct. Every time there's like something else, it's like
Sorry,
Yeah.
I know
another
that
dead
this
end.
is a
Another dead end. Just
government
you-
department that doesn't
Yeah.
understand your business. Has absolutely nothing to do with you. We don't understand anything that you do, but we're going to cut your budget by 66%.
Oh, that was quite specific. Yeah. So I thought, my thinking is that if Mary Ellen is in this perpetual sort of cycle of being bungled by bureaucracy every time she thinks she's going to get close to the money, she doesn't. And what I would like to see is
But
that
she keeps killing people when she thinks she's getting.
no, but but no, that's what she would like to do. But again, she's frustrated by the fact that it doesn't happen because somebody's cancelled, they don't turn up, or, the budget's slashed, or, someone misses a call, or someone's on holidays, or someoone's sick leave, just the things that really do happen in day-to-day life.
Yeah,
exactly. Where you're just trying to get a job done. But what I'd like to see at the same time as she is being totally frustrated by the lack of, action.
She's just described my professional life. Anyway.
I think it's most people's professional life. Is that on the flip side, dear Bobby, I was going to call him Bernstein. It's not Bobby Bernstein. Bobby Samuels goes on to greater wealth, and he has
with
a
another
new partner.
lady.
Yes.
Yep.
They have a wonderful life. They go on to have a very wonderful relationship.
You, Mary Ellen.
And meanwhile, she's just trapped in this, constantly like a maze. Every time she turns another corner, it's like a game, you know what I mean? Where the game of life, and she's just let down
fucked over by it, like some people are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sort of like what's the word I'm after? An eternity of just.
And then some minks coming through on her toes.
Yeah. And at the same time, she's watching, what could have been if she had have been in a healthy relationship with somebody who, worked as a couple and they went on to, expand their businesses, et cetera, et cetera.
And I feel sorry for Nicole.
You feel sorry for Nicole?
I do. I know we established that she was an adult at 18, but do you remember when you were 18? We weren't really adult.
I do remember Mum. Yeah, but your mum asked Clarky, come on.
You go on.
She asked. It's not like you know what it was like.
Stop being so ungrateful. After everything I've done
like,
for you.
That ex-boyfriend of mine, I think we're going to have to do something about him, Swanee. Yeah, Mum, I think you're probably right.
I think this is the contract killing equivalent of the pink bat scandal that happened in Australia.
Refresh my memory.
So it's putting insulation into everyone's roofs. But what it did is created this entire industry where people were all of a sudden experts in installing insulation. So some people paid a lot of money and got shitty insulation. Other people got killed in the process because of bad electric wiring in houses.
Or just heat.
But so the shenanigans that happened through all of that is a bit like the whole process of this killing. Like it was, too much. I just wanted a simple job done, and it's become so complicated, even to the whole. I mean,
you ruined it for everyone,
right? We can't do this anymore because it's just too hard. Yeah, so I think Mary Ellen got her comeuppance in that she got sentenced to death, then she's just got life without parole. So that's pretty good. I feel like Gall and Edwards, who sure they got a lesser sentence because. Yeah, but they didn't get sentenced. They got sentenced for the murder. They didn't get sentenced for being shit murderers. And so, there are actually people who do put insulation into your roof, and they know how to do it, and they do it well, and they check for electrical problems, all that sort of thing. And then there are contract killers who don't know how to kill and who just do it. Catherine Tate. I can do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'll kill someone. Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you're going to pay to get someone killed, you want it to be a quick, simple, easy killing. Right, pay the right price. Don't get someone's boyfriend to do it who's never done it before, who ends up making an absolute disaster out of it. So I think they need to have a sentence that is, of course, for the killing, but also for fraudulently taking on a job that they said that they have qualifications in when they just don't. So I want them to spend the rest of eternity in a horrible roof cavity in 45-degree heat, getting the itchiness that you get from that shitty glass wall that you can't get rid of.
Oh.
So their 14 years or whatever can be spent like that. Oh, it's horrendous. So that can be their added sentence for being shit at their job.
Okay, fair enough. All right, well, that was a cracker.
Very good.
Great job, Clarky. And as we say every week, miss you already.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.